At last year's Rio Olympic Games, Henry Skuman won a bronze medal in the triathlon. It was something of a surprise because the man many expected to medal from South Africa was Richard Murray, who finished fourth. Let's find out more about the 28-year-old Cape Townian and how he got into triathlon.
I grew up just outside of Durbanville, South Africa, on a farm called Rondekale. And I was a farm kid and still am, for instance, myself as a farm kid. And grew up running and cycling as a kid, mountain biking, motocross, all the outdoor sports. And pretty much did running and cycling first to duathlon, learned to swim, and then moved into triathlon. And since then, I've been racing as a professional since 2010. I first got involved in triathlons when I was 11 years of age in Mykonos, just outside of Langebaan, on the west coast of South Africa. And it was where it all started for me. And the distances were kind of the same as what we're racing now in the Super League series. So it's something cool, and it's taking me back to when I was about 11.
Having won the Junior Duathlon World Championships twice and the African Under-23 Triathlon title, Richard had to make a decision about taking the sport more seriously and becoming a full-time professional.
I became a professional athlete, I think, in 2010. So you can be a professional athlete and not make any money, but as soon as you start making your own financial living, then I kind of see it as being a professional. So 2012 was my breakthrough year, and that's when I went to the Olympics and got my first big prize monies at big major events.
A triathlete very often has a preferred discipline. So which of swim, bike and run is Richard Murray's favourite?
My favourite discipline of triathlon is either the cycling or the running, depending on my fitness. But generally, I think I enjoy the cycling a little bit more, just because you get to see quite a lot. And when you're in different countries, you get to see more by cycling than you do via running.
2016 was a tough year. Richard's Olympic preparations were hampered when he fell and broke his collarbone at the World Triathlon Series Gold Coast race last year. Thanks to his single-minded focus and great support from sponsors, he came back strongly and finished fourth in Rio.
Breaking my collarbone before the Olympics wasn't the ideal situation, but then again, nothing's always exactly as you want it to be. It was a big challenge. I've never actually had to overcome such an injury before in my life, and I had a lot of people supporting me, which helped a lot, especially my sponsors, willing to help and do whatever they could to kind of help me get back on my feet. I thought I was in a better state going into Rio than I actually was, especially on the swimming front, but cycling and running, I was still at the best I've ever been going into the Olympics. So, I'm still happy with how my performance turned out, regardless of the situation that happened beforehand when I fell off and broke my collarbone. Coming fourth in the Olympics, first person to lose out is never the best, but there always has to be someone that comes fourth. There was someone, a lot of other people that also came fourth in other disciplines in the world at the Olympic Games as well. It's definitely, at the end of it, I was happy with my performance. Coming off 2 months of good training, you can only expect so much, and I had to be realistic with that. 17th in 2012 and 4th in 2016. So, hopefully I progress, and in 2020 I get up, on the podium.
Richard has had a very successful 2017 so far, and of his 17 events, he's won 2 World Cups and the South African Xterra title.
This year I've decided to have a little bit of a different year, have some fun and not expect the best breakthrough performances per se, but just do the events that I feel like I wanted to do versus the race that I should be doing or everyone else is doing. I don't like following the trend all that much. So I think I had a pretty successful season, with the type of training that I did. I only had a couple of weeks before the first races, and then a couple of weeks before the next set of races, and generally 17 races I've done this whole season. So it didn't leave much time for training, but pretty happy with the performances.
The introduction of the Triathlon Super League has added real impetus to the sport, and Richard's victory was a major highlight. It's a format that he certainly enjoys.
Super League Triathlon, it's dynamic and spectator-friendly type racing. So it's evolved around literally the crowd and about the athletes having seriously high-paced, high adrenaline type racing. It's quite an aggressive style of racing as well, very short formats, and I definitely think it's going to be kind of the go-to as triathlon rolls on. And it's pretty enjoyable. The athletes all really positive about the feedback from the events, and I see it hopefully growing as the years go on, really.
The Super League is hugely demanding with 4 races over 3 days, and it puts emphasis on both physical and mental strength. So his win in Hamilton Island was one he cherishes.
The first Super League inaugural event was in Hamilton Island, just off New South Wales, Australia. And yeah, it was my first major international win in a long time.
Champion at Super League Hamilton Island, the man who will fly home with some excess baggage in the form of a $100,000 cheque, number 07 from South Africa, Richard Murray! Richard Murray now receives the inaugural Leonard Bogusławski Champions Trophy, presented by its namesake, who has brought together this incredible event. As he holds the trophy aloft. Let's hear it one more time.
It felt great. It was, we did 4 races over 3 days, 30 degrees Celsius with 100% humidity. It was brutal. It was very, very hard, and I really enjoyed it. It was really refreshing and different to the usual style of racing that we do. A little bit more relaxed, and I think the athletes definitely, enjoyed that type of, the treatment that they got from the event organisers and the environment and stuff. It was a great weekend all in all. You compare Australians' summer weather to Europeans' autumn weather. There's quite a big difference in the weather, the climate conditions, and different athletes fare better in different climatic conditions as well. So the European guys would usually fare better in colder conditions, and the South Africans would fare better in warmer conditions. So it was a very different type of racing as well. There wasn't a big hill on the bike, so the bike was different. The swim was 16 degrees Celsius. We had no wetsuits, where we usually swim 20 degrees Celsius or under we would have to swim with a wetsuit. So there were a lot of different things that came into play, and also torrential downpour on the Sunday made it even tougher. So it was very, very different, but yeah, I'm still happy with having to have walked away with climbing on the podium there. I'm still very happy with how it turned out on the weekend.
Richard is currently ranked at number 5 in the world and is super excited about what lies ahead for him, particularly the opportunity to compete on home soil.
For the rest of the season, my plans are, I've got a short break now, and then I'll have one more race in the middle of November, which is the Island House Triathlon in Bahamas. And from that, I'll literally be cut down. I'll have a month break, and I'll plan my training and my racing and stuff for the months to come, leading up to the start of 2018. And yeah, my next event in South Africa will most likely be the World Cup in Cape Town, which is the second week of February in the V&A waterfront.
Richard Murray is a sporting superstar with the triathlon world at his feet and making South Africans proud wherever he competes. Good luck for the future, Richard.